Hello, everyone, and welcome to the porch. I am Deb, and tonight I'm here with Karina. Hello, my friend. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Um, Karina is a retired school teacher. What grade did you teach?
Second grade for 32 years.
Well, bless your heart in all good terms, in all good ways, in all good ways. 32 years of students, parents, and families, blessing them. And now, what are you doing in your retirement?
Well, I decided that I wasn't quite done with helping people. So I got a job with a counseling service, and I am a community rehabilitation specialist. So that just means I'm a community mentor. So whenever a therapist feels that a consumer of theirs needs a little extra help outside of the office, they get a hold of me and I go and help that person, whether it's in their home or creating a family budget or helping them in the grocery store or working on self-esteem, anything outside of the office that they may need, I'm there for.
I
So.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So, tonight we're going to talk about when you wonder if it even matters. In your 32 years of teaching and now in your retirement and the families that you're working with, have you ever wondered, does it really matter?
Um, Only about every day.
Okay, when you
Um,
said that, I was like, oh
yeah, every day. There always comes a time like, geez, am I doing this right? The kids aren't listening, or I feel like I was a failure, but there always seems to be something that shows me this is what I need to be doing, and the kids and the consumers are showing me without showing me that I'm needed.
no. Right. It's
So,
sometimes, and I think that this is the one thing that, so as I was preparing for our talk tonight, it was one of the things, and I'm going to just kind of show this on the screen because acknowledging the quiet questions, sometimes it's the hardest doubts that aren't loud in your head, because you can go to work wondering, you know, in the back of your mind, why am I here? What am I doing? But the whispers, maybe they're little whispers that are saying, you know, does my effort matter? Is what I'm doing with these kids even going to change their world? Is it going to make a difference in their life? When I'm going to these consumers' houses, is it something that is going to change anything in their world? What difference can I make? And I think sometimes too, it's just like, does showing up again even matter? But the one thing I think that we need to remember is we're not broken for asking. We are not broken for asking. We are human.
right,
And so
right,
as we go through that, I think so many of our efforts that are hidden and unseen, but they're not wasted. Sometimes
right.
I'm sure you did a lot of things behind the scenes. And
Yeah, yeah.
I know you did, because I was there for part of them as you were helping families at Christmas, as you were reaching out as we were doing different things. How can we help? You were always there. You knew the behind the scenes stuff that needed to happen with your families. So did it matter? Absolutely. Absolutely it mattered. Absolutely every single one of those little tidbits mattered. At the
Right.
time, maybe we wondered, is it going to matter? And even to this day, and I'm just thinking about Operation Fun Socks.
Right.
Remember the impact. We would fill socks that were fun socks with different items, and you take them to your classrooms. How did that impact? It was something very small, something like does it even matter that we do this? But how was the impact of something that small for your kids?
Um, Actually, A lot of it was just the fact that somebody was giving the kids something random. They didn't know these people or the the organization that we were working with, and just something very different, and everyone was getting them, and they got to pick their own, and then they got to share what was in each sock with some of their other friends, and just the whole spirit of receiving and trading and giving. And then, of course, the shoes and socks came off and the new socks went on their feet. So they were just very excited about getting something out of the blue, out of the ordinary, and very thankful for people thinking of them, I should say. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, and I
yeah.
think too, okay, so when they put on their new socks, they didn't have stained socks. Some of them didn't have holy socks anymore. They all had new socks.
Right. And some of the
And
kids did not have socks even to wear. So, yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
so
not
it
all families
mattered,
are fortunate.
right?
So just something
But it
new and not hand me down was a blessing.
right. So I guess in that whole thing, you know, that little effort mattered. It might not have impact, but that little effort could have mattered to somebody, and they might remember that because it brought them out of something that they didn't even know that they were struggling with. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yep.
weird. The little things matter. The little things matter. And it's just like our prayers. The little prayers matter. I mean, we are praying each other up, and if you say a prayer for somebody, it matters, even if it's just a little bitty thing. It does matter. And then that showing up again, does that matter? And I think, I don't know if you can, um, have a time where you found somebody that showed up again. I mean, they come back. Maybe it was a student that just came back, and it just did matter because they came back because you were there. And
Yeah.
the students know who they can trust. And they know that teacher's there. So Roseanne is on, and she says the kids count on us. Roseanne is a para, and we may be the only ones that they know what they say. We will not be mad at them the next day. So it's the forgiveness there. It is that part there that it is really a beautiful thing, because the kids can count on their teachers, and they can count on there's a safety net there. And so I think that's where, when I was thinking about this tonight, in all your work and in all your career, you've touched so many families and so many people. And I don't think we need big faith. I don't think we need to have perfect faith. I don't think we have to have polished faith to make a difference.
Right. Yep.
And
I I do have a little story that kind of goes around with what you're saying about the little things that we do. I'm currently working with a little fourth grade girl that I've probably only known 3 or 4 months, and I work with her 1 hour a week. And I take her from the home, and we do some things in the community. And um, I, she's a hard nut to crack. I mean, she has lots of trust issues, and working on family dynamics. And every session I'm with her, I always think, oh, what could I have done more? I'm just not getting through to her. And I had a meeting with some of her teachers, and they made it a point to tell me that one of the things that they had on a questionnaire for her at school last week is for her to list somebody that she trusts, and she wrote my name down. Not her mom's, not her teachers, siblings. She wrote the one person who spends an hour a week with her. So that I was like, oh, okay, I must be doing something right.
I'm getting through.
Yeah,
It
right.
is. And sometimes
Yeah.
I don't think we even realize our impact.
Yes.
You had no idea, but you're taking her on little adventures that she may never get to do. You're taking her out to do things that she's probably longing for. And
And
I think
just
that
someone to listen to.
right, right, right. And I think that is just beautiful. So now as your new position, you're working with people of all ages, or you're still working with just children?
All ages, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So in that, with that all ages thing, I think that that's interesting too. So with that all ages thing, do you find people in the different ages where some of them really just don't think that they matter or their voice
Oh,
matters?
definitely. Yep. Most definitely. Yep.
Okay. So is there any age group that seems to be a little bit more into that, or
I
is it
would
just across?
I would say more
Sorry to
the
put you on the spot,
mid
just
to
curious.
upper no, this mid to upper teens always have that the self-doubt. Kind of like they're in between that stage of, being taken care of and then learning to take care of themselves. And that comes with a lot of um, the self-doubt, self-confidence. Can I do this? I'm not worthy, that type of thing. So, yeah.
And a lot of change in their worlds for
And
that.
responsibilities. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. And maybe that's it. It's the responsibilities that they're not sure if they can handle in there.
Right.
That's very true. I
Or they
always
don't
know that.
know how to handle. Yeah. And that's where I come into to kind of help them ha- transfer like the responsibility and understanding what they have to do so they
Oh,
can feel more worthy.
so okay. So that's interesting because I wonder if the service that you have is available in most areas, that you are doing. And you know what I'm saying? I'm wondering if most areas have that service available, because I think that it's very, very it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because there are people that get stuck. We get stuck in ruts. We get stuck in places, and it doesn't matter what age we are. And when we're thinking, if it really matters, do we really matter? And then they find somebody like you that can kind of pick them up and say, hey, you know what? You're worthy of coming with me. You're worthy of me picking you up, and we're going to go figure out the thing. We're going to figure out your budget. You are worth my time to do this. And you're showing them that they matter. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So Roseanne had said the funny part is, because we were talking about the kids, is getting through to her. She doesn't always know how to tell you. And that's probably what it is that sometimes kids don't know what it is and how to tell you. And then Roseanne also said 7th and 8th grade can be prickly. I like that word. They can be prickly. And then Rhonda says that her girls are pairs at school, and when the kids see them outside of school, they come up and say hi, and they really appreciate it. Did
Yeah.
you ever have that happen to you?
Oh yeah.
Where you're,
Yep.
how about
Yeah.
former students?
Yeah. Former students come. I actually had a former student come and asked me if I remembered what I used to do to her in second grade. And I thought, oh gosh, here comes. What do you mean? Well, she said, well, once a week you used to braid my hair, and I would look forward to that every day before school started. I did not
Oh my
ever remember
God.
doing that, but she said once a week I would take time to do that before school started for her. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Once again, I love that. It is those little things that matter. It is those little things that you didn't even remember that made
Mm-mm.
an impact on this girl's life forever. And she was in
That
second grade?
she was in second
Second grade.
grade and she's 20 now.
So
Yeah.
we never know exactly who we're going to impact and how. And that is, I think, part of what is most beautiful about this whole thing. And like I said, it's that showing up, and that's having a willing heart, I think, is enough sometimes. And I think that that is kind of where God asks us to be, and we don't even know it. Sometimes we just go and we're not for sure why, but you get like that little sixth sense or whatever that's saying, maybe you should do that today. Maybe you should just show up. Maybe you shouldn't call in sick today because somebody needs you, and there's all of those things. But I think too that, you know, just because sometimes now, if you don't see progress, like in this young lady you were talking about, it doesn't mean that nothing's happening. You did not see the
Right.
progress until you heard the progress report or the report from the teachers,
Right.
but you still showed up. You still wouldn't got her, even though you didn't think you were getting through it, or you didn't brush your hands off and say, this isn't working, find somebody else to do this. You didn't do that. And so I think sometimes that little bitty thing, like I said, when we don't see it and every single minute, it's okay. It's okay. And so I think there's some days that are better than others. And so when you are, here's a question. And so when you're having a bad day, you're personally having a bad day, and you need to show up, and you need to encourage, you need to put on a good face. What kind of day does that look like for you? I know for me what it does, but do you ever have those days? Maybe you don't, because I know you're
Oh,
always a jolly lady.
yeah, well, it starts with coffee and um honestly, I'm a real big proponent of alone time. Just give me 15 minutes. I have to sit down, I have to reflect, I have to think about what's going on, why it's going on, how I can change my attitude, and it's kind of alone time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is, yeah, kind of just self-reflecting and maybe recharging
Yeah, just kind of
for
get grounded.
yourself. And
Yeah, get grounded. Yeah.
so you're putting yourself in check. So you're
Right.
taking care of you so you can take care of others. That's
Right.
that is really important in this whole thing, because if you wonder if it even matters, that obviously matters. For me, it's sticky notes. I'm still using sticky notes, you know, but for me, it's sticky notes. I really have to put it in perspective. And for me, putting sticky notes on the wall and kind of moving them, and I need to physically see maybe sometimes where I'm at, or where I'm stuck. And sometimes that just helps me refocus and reset and
Mhm.
recharge. And so Rhonda says, teachers and parents can be angels in disguise. Absolutely, Rhonda, you are
Yeah.
100% right. And then Roseanne said, when you take a day off and you come back and they ask where you
Yeah.
were. Yes.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
know my sister Carol is a special ed teacher, and I know she's always just like, I don't know if I can leave today because my students are, um,
Yep.
they count on you. They count on you.
Yep.
And so, and so when how about your life is speaking even when you're tired. So when you're tired, that's what you said. You can take that 15 minutes, you can refocus, you can recenter yourself, but you don't give up. You keep moving,
Right.
even though you don't even know if it's mattered. You know what I'm saying? If it matters to anybody.
Mhm.
Um, and so, I mean, do you have any kind of examples of things that when it matters most? Because
Um,
with the
in-
people that you work with, when does it matter most?
um, I guess it matters most when they need me. Not so much at our appointment time, not so much on the day I'm supposed to come there, but 24/7, I accept phone calls and text messages and snap messages. If my high school student is having a bad day, I'll pick up the phone at 8:30 at night. So I guess it matters most when someone else needs help in my eyes.
And then right, and then when you know that they need help and you're able to respond and you're able to kind of lift them up, even if it's just a half an inch, and get them out of their funk, that also changes you.
Oh
And
yeah.
it can change your mood,
Oh yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then what you're doing really does matter. And those things are, and we get tired. I mean, for me, I get tired. I'm saying we, and I mean me. I get tired, and but I think that we get tired. Maybe not, and sometimes for me it is because I don't know for sure if what I'm doing is making a difference. You know what I'm saying? And I'm putting all this work into it, and I'm focusing on these things, and I'm really trying hard to make their lives better, but I can't see because I'm tired. I can't see what they're doing or how it's changing their world. And that for me is a hard thing. And then I have to look back, like that aha moment I had today. As I was getting ready to record, I had this aha moment of, I know why I'm here. Oh my gosh, but sometimes it takes those digging a little deeper to really realize why we matter. So, and like I said, I think the students, and I want to go back to that little girl that came up and told you she remembered what you did to her. And, but so just imagine the impact that she looked forward to you braiding her hair. Maybe she's doing that with her daughter, and every time she remembers Mrs. Haskey or Miss Haskey when she braids her daughter's hair, or, if she has children or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Weird impacts, but this is where the teachers and the paras are angels in disguise. Because I don't think sometimes you realize how many wings you may have put on those children that you impacted.
I do
And
think it
so,
kind of works both ways also because
okay.
I'm a mom of 3 boys. I never got to braid little girls' hair. So I enjoyed it just as much as she did that one day a week. So she gave everything to me as much as I was given to her.
Aw, I
Yeah.
love that. I never thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So you needed it as much as she did. So that
That's
little
right.
thing really mattered.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think that those are the things. That's who God brings us when God brings us together and he puts us in the positions we are. And they mold us, they shape us, they form us. But as we're molding and we're shaping and we're changing and we're growing, the people around us that are seeing us, that are experiencing when we are filled with joy, when we have stress, when we have whatever, but they're experiencing those things with us. But they're also seeing the gentle touches and the things that we don't see that matter are making a huge impact maybe on their life. And so in this, we're going to get ready to close here in a couple minutes, but one of the things is when you wonder if it matters, I really think that it matters to God. It matters for the things that are unseen. It matters for maybe people you don't even know the impact, because the little girl that you're taking into the community, you don't know for sure how that's going to impact her future and her family, and and not only her, but how, like you said, how much she's impacting you. And you're getting ready to retire and maybe just be done with working. Oh my goodness. But at the same time, I know you well, that you won't just be done. You will still be out there making a difference and doing things. Hi, Tina. It's nice having you here. So, like I said, so as people, do you have any maybe advice for people that are struggling? Doesn't really matter. Do I matter?
Um,
As how what advice would you give them?
um, just those 3 little letters, all all the time. Whatever you do matters. Getting up in the morning matters. Um, Making your bed matters. I mean, it gives you a sense of, okay, nighttime is over. And now I'm moving on to the next step of the day. And um, don't doubt yourself. Just keep doing what you're doing, because every little thing that you do matters to somebody, if not just yourself.
Right. And you matter. And that's the part of it is too, is like you said, you're not only serving other people, but you're also filling yourself. And when you can give yourself that grace and that love that, that you deserve, and you give it to yourself, that was yesterday's message actually. But when you can give that to yourself, that really does matter, because then you open up this huge heart of, I got this. It opens up confidence. It opens up all of this other stuff, realizing that you matter and that you can make a difference. And so, but like I said, so is there anything else that you want to share that you can think can impact people? Because so here on the porch, it's wonderful, because they won't only see this tonight, but it'll be on the next 7 days or 30 days, whatever. Yes, Roseanne said just being a decent human being matters. And Tina says, we're getting some feedback. But anyway, Tina said she's been getting angry at her situation. I don't like myself right now. And, and sometimes when we feel that way, I think that, sometimes it does. Life throws some punches, and they don't feel fair. You know what I'm saying? But still, those things that you're doing, they matter. You know what you're doing still matters. And I know you're going through a lot, but and there we are. We're back. So, but anyway, so Karina, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for sharing, because, like I said, knowing that the people that you've impacted in your life and the little things that made a difference, even on the days that maybe you didn't want to go to school, or you didn't want to go to work, or you didn't feel like whatever, but then you got to braid hair, or you got to hear that you were the one that inspires them. I think it's important that we know that those little things really impact everybody. And so, like I said, so if there's anything else that you want to share before we close, I want to just kind of close with a little prayer after, if there's anything else that you want to share.
Basically, there's no right or wrong in how you feel, but what you have to remember is what you've been saying is you do matter.
Yeah. Yep. And I agree with this wholeheartedly, Tina. Karina, you are an amazing person. And I am very, very, very honored to call you my friend. And I have, and to do the work that we've done together is amazing. So I want to thank you once again for joining us tonight. But I want to close with prayer real quick. That's okay. Let's close with prayer. God, we thank you for this time. We thank you for all of the teachers, all of the paras, all of the people that are in our world that take care of us, that show up, even when they don't even know if it matters, because it really does. So God, as we're showing up, as we continue to come, as we continue to pray, as we continue to move forward and help other people in this ugly world, God, that we live in, there are so many beautiful people. Thank you for filling this world with such beautiful souls. Let us focus on those, God. Let us focus on the people who bring us life, that are making a difference. Even if they don't even know if it matters, they still show up. Thank you for giving us those people. It's in your name we pray. And they all said, amen. And they all said, amen. So I want to thank you once again for everybody for being here on the porch. Thank you, Miss Karina, for joining me tonight. I appreciate everything that you do, and that everything that you've done in the past. So I appreciate that. But I want everybody to know that regardless of who you are, where you are, and what you do, you are necessary and needed just where you're at and who God created you to be. Sometimes I go on this and I know that I do things that are different. I do things that are weird. I do things that maybe just don't even matter to anybody else. But if I feel God calling me to do that, I still move forward and I try to show up. And that's what God's asking all of us to do tonight. So, yes, Chad, this is on YouTube as well. So yes, we are on YouTube as well. But have a great night, everybody. God bless. And once again, thank you, Miss Karina.
You
Have
bet.
a good
Stay
night.
warm.
Love you all.